So there is one scam in Vegas that none of us can really avoid. It's the scam of the resort fee. And in this video, we're going to talk about how it's going to get more expensive for you to come and stay in Vegas in the next year because one major company has increased those resort fees and why they're actually doing it. And we're also going to touch upon a history of resort fees and tell you how you can actually avoid them in the comical way that sometimes these fees are displayed on screen. By the way, the President of the United States has vowed to end deceptive fees.
We've written a bill to stop it all. It's called the Junk Fee Prevention Act. We're going to ban surprise resort fees that hotels charge on your bill. Those fees can cost you up to $90 a night at hotels that aren't even resorts.
We'll touch upon all of that in this video. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven. I'm not leaving Las Vegas, and this is a Vegas video channel where we talk about different things that impact you and take deep dives into the culture and the business that is Las Vegas. Speaking of the business of this channel, if you guys want to have your company reached out to and hit 10,000 viewers guaranteed, I want you to know I have advertising spots available. If you have a brand, a business, or something you want to promote, reach out to me at nllvcontact@gmail.com so we can talk about getting you a guaranteed 10,000 views of people that want to know about you because they watch this channel right here. But getting back to the business of resort fees, we have to talk very carefully about this because resort fees have become an inevitability. And you know, it's not just a Vegas thing. Yeah, it's something that happens in most towns, but it's funny because different jurisdictions have different ways that they do this kind of stuff. Take, for example, Los Angeles. In Los Angeles, California, you don't get many resort fees, but instead you get $50 a night parking fees in order to park a vehicle on property, whereas in Vegas, the parking is always included in the resort fee. But what exactly are resort fees and when did they all start and manifest? Resort fees started way back in the early 2000s when Station Casinos, the modern day owner of places like the Red Rock Resort and Durango Station, they decided that they were going to add what they called a fuel surcharge or a room surcharge, depending on the various online sources, to their hotel room stays on a nightly basis. Now, back in the 2000s, not as many people had cellular phones and Wi-Fi was not a thing you could just share from the hotspot on your phone if you carried one. So they would include Wi-Fi in the service charge as well as local phone calls. And that has morphed and changed over time to include things like pools and fitness centers. And the question is whether or not you really need to pay these things when you come to a city like Vegas in the year 2024. So let's just briefly explain why these fees are complete and utter garbage and BS. And I really don't like to swear in my videos because lots of people from all age groups watch this. First of all, parking fees. I think it's fair to say that if you're coming to Vegas and you drive a car, you should be expected to pay parking fees, I suppose. But if you're staying at a property, a lot of people would argue that that property should provide you with some kind of safe parking experience. And mind you, this isn't parking like driving your car into the valet. That is still something that you have to pay for in most cases. These are just parking your vehicle. But if you're not coming here and driving a car like the vast majority of people, because most people that come to Vegas don't drive a car, you're paying for the parking in your resort fee, whether you like it or not. Pool access. You know, today it was 50 degrees Fahrenheit, not very warm at all, and it was raining for the past 2 days. So if you're coming to Vegas anytime other than the summer months, you're likely not using the pool, but the resort fee is covering the pool upkeep and maintenance. And then we have other things like the fitness center. The fitness centers at most hotels are an utter absolute joke. I'm a gym guy. I've been going to the gym for 13 years, and let me tell you, I've stayed at exactly one place that had actual free weights. Those are the weights that aren't cable machines, and that was a timeshare property where we were living for a period in Lake Tahoe called the Ridge. Great fitness center. If you're a fitness person, stay at the Ridge in Tahoe. Just don't buy the timeshare aspect of it. Most of those fitness centers are largely unused, but you're paying for that in your resort fee. And then we have the big elephant in the room, which would be Wi-Fi usage. Now, most of you guys watching this have some kind of an Android or an iPhone, and most of those plans you have include some kind of wireless 5G hotspot, which is going to be magnitudes faster in most cases than what you're going to get at the hotel if you decide to connect to their Wi-Fi at all, period. Hotel Wi-Fi is a funny thing. They don't want to give you the absolute best Wi-Fi experience because most of the time the convention facility wants to sell Wi-Fi access to somebody who is hosting a show so they can deepen their pockets on that that kind of a client. So the Wi-Fi is limited in most cases when you're actually doing anything with the Wi-Fi access, and you have a 5G hotspot router in your phone that works just fine in most cases. And who gets on Wi-Fi anyways, unless you want to have your passwords and information possibly stolen when you're on a big public system like a hotel would have? So then the question begs, why are you really paying for the resort fee? Well, that's a great question. The question I also have is, why are most of you guys watching this video not actually subscribed to me? I looked at my YouTube stats and people love to watch my videos, but you don't subscribe. And if you do subscribe, you know when I post more critical in-depth dives like this. So go ahead and subscribe to this channel right now. The real reason you're paying for resort fees is not what you think. I did a video and I put it on my alternative documentary channel that I have called Dark Vegas. That's D-A-R-C Vegas. You can go and click on the first link in this pinned comment on this video, and it actually talks about how Wall Street owns Las Vegas and the twisted, convoluted way that these properties have set themselves up to be renters in their own buildings. You see, you're paying the resort fee at these properties because, simply put, the resort needs some kind of guaranteed money coming in because they are publicly traded companies that are part of giant, huge real estate investment trusts and giant, huge asset management firms who need to increase their profits every year because, as my video on the documentary channel that you should watch after this shows you, these companies are beholden to pay increasingly large rents year after year. So without them increasing revenue somehow and having a guaranteed revenue stream, they're not going to be able to accomplish that task. Eventually, they're going to lose money, their shareholders will lose money, and they will be in a bad spot, like Fontainebleau, which we'll make a video on coming up. I don't think that place will remain in the same ownership for the better part of this year, but that's another video, so subscribe for that one too. Hotels need some kind of guaranteed room revenue. This means that if they have a 5,000 room hotel resort like MGM Grand, they need to know that for a room night where 100% occupancy is present, they're making X amount of dollars. And if the resort fee on all of those rooms is $50, then they're making 5,000 times $50, which is the number that is written on the screen below. If they increase those by $2 or $3, a 5,000 room a night occupancy where it's 100% is worth an extra $15,000, which might not sound like a lot of money to you if you think in terms of Vegas and high roller whales who will oftentimes bet that on a single hand of baccarat. But if we do the math and have $15,000 extra because of an increase in resort fees for one night, and now it's 10 nights, now it's 100 nights, and now it's 300 nights, yeah, you can see how this starts to ratchet up and causes a lot more profit for the company coming in. Well, then that begs the question, right? What do? We raise our fist and yell at them. That's what the president is doing right now. He's made a public spectacle of trying to get rid of what he calls deceptive fees.
We've written a bill to stop it all. It's called the Junk Fee Prevention Act.
The hotels have pushed back a little bit, with some hotel companies actually advertising the hotel resort fee when you hover over the mouse, as was displayed on a Vital Vegas post that he made on his site a couple of weeks back. And some hotels are even getting to the point where you can book the hotel for less than the resort fee itself, with Excalibur and Luxor and smaller budget-oriented properties oftentimes being less than $30 a room night, but having a resort fee that's well over $40+, which is kind of laughable and comical. Now, that's really the thing. If you want to avoid the resort fee, just look up the resort fee and add the two together and just book it as the outwardly facing price of the hotel and stop worrying about it. I know it sounds ridiculous, but if you're getting a room for $27 a night and the resort fee is $40, you're ultimately getting a room for $67. And I don't know about you, but a Vegas Strip hotel room for $67 is definitely not a bad idea and not a bad deal at all. I've stayed in worse places in Southern California for more money. At the same time, there are, of course, ways, and many of you have already texted it into the box below. You've said, I don't pay resort fees. I never pay for parking. My valet is free. And that's good for you. That means that you have some kind of status as a gamer at the properties. Not everybody is like that. Some people come to Vegas and they come because they're a foodie. And some people come to Vegas and they come because they watch their hockey or their football team play. Some people like to come to Vegas to go to concerts. And other people come to Vegas so they can do nature walks and take photos and see the sights. So if you're a status equipped gambler in the city, obviously you're not paying those resort fees and you don't have anything to worry about. And like I said, if you are that person that is not a gamer Just find the cheapest room you can book on the Strip that has a major brand hotel attached to it. I wouldn't recommend small hotels off the Strip because it can oftentimes be dicey. Do your research and then book the least expensive room, and just consider the resort fee a cost of doing business in the town. I don't think you can get out of paying them as far as I've ever heard. You might be able to finesse the manager into it, but the sad fact of the matter is you're going to be paying for something that you're probably not going to use while you're here, and it's just a cost of doing business in the year 2024. My question, to sum it all up to you, if you're still watching, you can answer me in the comments below with a heck yeah, is at what point does the proverbial straw on the camel's back that is Las Vegas break and shatter? You see, there's lots of places where you can come back and do different things. You don't have to go to a football game in Vegas. You can wait until the Raiders come to your hometown. You don't have to go to an NHL game here, and you can wait until Bruno Mars plays near you. They always travel and go out of the city, and there is lots of jurisdictions where there is already gaming and gambling and big plans for it, like New York City, in the Big Apple, or the fact that Ohio just authorized putting slot machines in some of their grocery stores, just like Vegas. Sports gambling is everywhere too, so I wonder at what point will the consumer actually push back on things, and these companies who are in a race, an ever-pounding, throbbing, huge race to the finish line to increase their profits, find that they lose some customers along the way. Tell me in the comments below what you think. My name is Steven. I'm not leaving Las Vegas. This is a Vegas video channel. I really appreciate you guys watching. You're the best part of my day. Reach out and check out our other channel, Dark Vegas, for a full explanation of how Wall Street bought up the entire Las Vegas Strip, and our upcoming video on Dubai, which launches in just a few days. Until the next time I see you, this is Steven saying 3, 2, 1, click. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, and click!